Hello guys, Susanna here. I am back with my little stitcheries for Christmas. These were the extra ones that I thought I'd make some TNs for, but I was actually thinking, I don't know, I might just stitch them and sell them as is, because you can put it in for overseas. You can put it in an envelope with a card, like fold it over like that, and it goes as like a leather. If I put it in a card, and they won't know that there's some fabric in there. So so what I've done, this is one I finished excuse me, just had some water and I think it's gone there the wrong way, with a ginormous mouse or a small banner. So it's very cute. So I thought the wintry style ones, this isn't really wintry, it's just a dog, and I have no idea what they are. They look like rabbits, but then they've got these long little tails, so I think maybe bilbies, or I have no idea. So still got to stitch around the doggy and finish that one, but I've coloured them in with the paint. So I'll probably just go around the trees and maybe along some of here and around the house for that one, and then around the reindeers and the legs and around that. So there's 4 I'm going to stitch and sell. Then I have got these ones which I finished colouring, and that's the one you saw me do. And then this is my little reindeer. He's rather cute. I love how he's turned out, and I found tiny little buttons. Then I've got those. So they look really good with a bit of paint in them. My little plum pudding gingerbread candy cane, and my mice. I think it's really cute. I love that it's got Merry Christmas on there. And then here is the Christmas tree, and I just figured it out how I'm going to do the size of everything. Here we go. And the centre square ends up being, I think, 4 by 4. So with these, there's my little piece. See, I've got bits and pieces cut off to the side here, or what I want to do. And then I saw this, and I've got other bits and pieces here which I'm replacing. I might even might sew them around the ones that I sell. But I found these, and I really like these colours, so I just love it. I've got to be really careful, even though you know, I did sew it, and it's a bit lower, as you can see, but it's going to look really cute, 4 of them in together. No, 6 I'm doing. Okay, what was I going to do? Okay, yeah, the centre square, you've got to cut 4 by 4. Now, where did I had this little clear piece of square stuff, just so that I can see. Here it is, and that's 4 by 4, which is the finished size. So what I'll do is you sort of like you put that there like that. There we go. So that's the finished side, and I might even do a light pencil around that, and then I add 1/4 of an inch. I cut it 1/4 of an inch all the way around that pencil line, and that will give me 4.5. That's what I should have done for that one, and it would have been square. So yeah, you think of these things after. So what I'll do when I cut it, so this is my own thing. I will go on that line, make sure I can see that a little darker. Hopefully I'm in camera, guys. And then that is going to be you won't see that because that's basically the stitching line. hoping you won't see that. So then there's a 1/4 inch either side. Get your rotary cutter. This is a rotary mat, so that's fine. I'm a bit busy sorting out winding some of these onto the little pegs. So, see that will, you can see that's going to go along there, so I'll sew that, push this down, there we go, 1/4 inch, I'll put that, this part will go along there, I'll just see, I can see it, a bit hard for you guys. So if you get yourself a clear bit of something and measure it 4 by 4, then you can do a 1/4 inch on your little rotary cutter. Some of the small pieces I may not keep, but I might keep these two. Ugh. They come in a bit. Probably keep these 2 bits and get rid of those. There's my little bag of fabrics. There we go. Because it is linen, like it's quite good. So that's my first square. Then for the second square, I need 5.5 by 5.5. So I've got to cut these anyway. So what did I have for this? Is this the smaller one or the big one? Sorry, I'm just see, that ends up being 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, what I do is I do 5. Sounds really weird. So is that, and this is the bigger one, I think. Well, they're the same size. No, that's definitely the outside one. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So the green will be the inside one. So what I'll do is I'll get 5.5. Okay. Where's my little, yeah, it's definitely 5.5, yeah. So 1, 2, if you can see where you are. Really, yep. That's my ruler, you can't see it really well where you are. So it's 5, 5.5 is there. Okay. So what I might do is you go like that. Then I'll keep that, put that aside. Now, 5.5 that way. There we go. Needs to line up. Everything all lines up. Okay, so we got this little piece left. Then what I do is I get these 2 corners like that. And then use my actual board and get a tip of a line here and try and get it as straight as I can, because rather than trying to cut triangles, because the instructions in that book that I was reading last time, cut a triangle, I'm like, no, I'm going to cut a square and then cut them into triangles. See, now that fits. So that gets sewn onto the center. So you would sew that there, and you got the little bits hanging over, so that's fine. That's what they're supposed to be, hanging over, because that's like the 1/4 inch. And then that gets folded over like that. Oh, how cute does that look with that one? So that's that lot. And then Where are we? Put that on your board. Have that like that. Tips for easy cutting. If there's an easier way of doing something, I will. So when you're making triangles, this is the best way of doing it. Make squares and cut them in 4. And that is those 4. And see, they join and become okay. And then when I do the next one, which is this, what am I going to have? I was going to have red. That's it. Red, and this is in the big one. So that is 6.5 by 6.5. So that is not quite big enough. But my big rotary, my big ruler is. You've got to get with different tools for different things. So I'm standing up. That's 6.5. Now by 6.5. Such a nice colour. So I've got a little bit left over, and then I can, with this, I can use a smaller one to do the same thing and cut it. So today I'm just going to show you to do the cutting, because I haven't got my sewing machine set up next to me just yet. Okay, so even though it doesn't quite line up with the pattern, I'm going to cut point to point and then line that up there, and then that lines up here so that you know you've got a straight part. And that's going to sew that. That's this one. And then you've got yourself a block. So nice and easy. That's why when it came to measuring stuff like my books and journals in inches, I never had a trouble, because when you're a quilter, you learn in inches. So never struggled with doing that. Didn't quite press hard enough. It's okay. Love these colours. They're so pretty. So that's what I'm going to be doing for that. And then so what I might do while I'm just sitting here talking with you guys, I might just I was going to do a little bit more stitching, but I just thought I'll just show you how you can make your little blocks. So I've got it. I was actually thinking I probably need to do stitching before I do the cutting, because it will fray. So I'm going to mark them, but I just thought, just showing you how you can do your marking to make sure that they're straight and don't end up like this. We make the mistakes so you don't have to. And even here, that's sort of caught on there, but that's okay. When you're stitching, that will be sewed down, so it doesn't, I'm not, you know, fussed whether everything's perfect or not, because it ends up good in the end, which is the main thing. So I'm going to do that a little bit darker. Oop. There we go. Oh, the last one, idiot. There we go. And then I'll do 1/4 of an inch on that. There we go. So I'll leave that like that and I'll stitch it. But so there you go. That's how you get to that point, and the cutting sizes. So I'll read that out again when you do, you know, like just for doing that little square, and then I'll show you how to put them together. And I'll when I get my set up, I'll set up that. So the center one is 4.5 by 4.5. So if you've got yourself a picture, get yourself a clear bit of, maybe even acetate, cut it 4.5 by 4.5 inches exactly, so you know where you can place your pattern. You don't necessarily have to have a stitchery. You can have a really, you know, gorgeous piece of, where's my little caravan, or, you know, like something like that. You just use that as the centerpiece in Christmas. You can get some really pretty Christmas fabric, and then the center this triangle is, you cut a square 5.5 by 5.5, and then you cut it in half like I showed you, and then the same with the other one is 6.5, and at 6.5 it's all inches. So just get yourself your ruler if you want to convert it. That looks like 6.5, and 6.5 is like 16.5 centimeters. 5.5 is 14 centimeters. So just, you know, convert it over if you're into centimeters, but if you're going to do quilting, it's usually inches. So well, it's still pretty a bit of extra time. I can show you how I do a little bit of stitching with this. I just do its back stitching. So you come out, let's go back in the same hole like that, and come back out, go back down in that same hole. So yeah, I'm glad I used the watercolor for this. That was quite good. It's a lot easier because I used the acrylic on the rabbit, and I found it quite hard to stitch through. So it probably needed to be a little bit more watered down, I think. But watercolor is, you know, strong in pigment. So there you go. So how have you all been doing? I haven't even asked you that. Isn't that terrible? I've been keeping myself busy trying to rearrange my room. I've got my hubby in here with me now. I've sort of rearranged it so that he could have some of his music stuff in here. Of course, he's not going to play his music when I'm recording. But because we've only really got a 2-bedroom home, where my youngest son is in the other room, and then we've got this big bungalow at the back, so it's like 3-bedroom, but this is quite a good size, the studio. And there, I thought, rather than having have all his music stuff in the lounge room, these guys, I don't know, I said, I'll clear a space out and you can come in with me, because if I'm just doing crafting, nice to have him keep me company. So as long as he's not messy. Famous last words, eh? You got to do what you got to do. Not everyone is privileged enough to have a studio, so I've consider myself very blessed to be able to have a studio. It's because my oldest son's out of home, so I've got his old room. I'm quite liking being in the corner, actually. It's rather good, especially when I get my sewing machine set up. If I had it set up today, did it work? I could have showed you how I did the sewing. And I've got my little ironing board here. Got my little iron. Yeah, everything's all nicely set up. Oh, beautiful. Got this nice thread, which I'm probably going to use some of that to do hand quilting. It's only going to be a little one, so I do hand quilting on a small quilt. So yeah, very, very cute. Okay, finished that. So I thought I'd just do a quick video to keep you updated of where I'm at with my mini Christmas quilt. So I don't know, I'll still see how I go with whether I'm going to make TNs. I'm just not that fussed on it. I think it's nice if people can make their own stuff. Yeah, that would be nice too, and it's a lot cheaper to send it in the mail, I think, if I do it. Might even make it up to this point, because I've got these spare and I've got more of this as well, so match them up to whatever's on there. I think that goes rather nicely with that. And then these two will probably go nicely. That's on the inside. It's got a little bit of the berries, and then they're on the outside. I think that's rather cute. So you'll find that in the next video. More forever changing my mind, you know what I'm like. Okay guys, I will catch you later. Thank you for watching. Bye.